Freedom! Welcome to another episode of Shots of Bliss. Since we're celebrating the 4th of July, American Independence Day, it is fitting that I talk about freedom. You know, there's this funny idea out there called the freedom of choice. It makes absolutely no sense, and we call it freedom. Freedom of choice are contradictory things. Freedom means you are free to do what you want to do and what makes you the most blissful in your life. But choice, on the other hand, is an obligation to do this or that, to do A or B. And that makes absolutely no sense that we have this idea called the freedom of choice. And this is our idea of freedom. That is not true freedom. The freedom of choice means that you could choose A or B, and when you choose A, you are totally eliminating any possibility of the option B and everything and all the possibilities that comes with option B. You are removing that as you're moving all those possibilities from happening by choosing A. This is not freedom, this is bondage. This idea of freedom of choice is developed because people, through their experiences of their upbringing, religion, school, society, or whatever has an influence on someone, these things build a framework of belief that really hold people in bondage. A framework of belief that keeps people to where they have like a window of their little belief system and what is true to them and what is not true. And if an idea or something does not fall within that window of belief, does not abide by their belief system, does not abide by their framework of belief, then they totally throw out that idea. If you throw out everything that does not fall within your window of belief, your framework of belief, then everything outside your framework of belief is a possibility, is an experience, is an opportunity. And if something does not fall within your framework of belief and you totally excuse that as a possibility and you say that's not possible, then what you are doing is you are limiting yourself and you are holding yourself in bondage because of your framework of belief. And from these experiences and things that we learn, ideas and beliefs get built up in our mind, and we construct these things and formulate these things into frameworks and make these things our belief, and we hold strong onto these beliefs. But what happens is, what I've discovered in my meditations is that these beliefs and ideas hold us in bondage because we're so steadfast holding strong onto our beliefs, our personal beliefs, like this is what I believe and this is the truth and this is facts because it's what I've been taught, it's what I've learned from my experience, it's what I've learned from my life. And all that does is hold you in bondage. So from my meditations, what I've learned is not to hold strong onto my beliefs, but to let the potential of the universe, let the potential of God, of the infinite possibilities take over in your life. And the way I've done this is I've learned to question everything I believe. And this is the idea about my new mini-series that's coming up called The Bliss of Questioning. As I begin to question everything I've ever believed in my life, as I begin to question my ideas, my beliefs, it really brought me more joy and bliss in my life. It really brought me to a place of ecstatic bliss. And that's what you've seen over the past couple years of my last episodes of Shots of Bliss. I've just been so ecstatic and blissful in these videos because as I begin to question, I begin to explore and experience new things in this world that I never thought was possible. And I begin to explore the realm of infinite possibilities. It's like we're living in a whole new world. Our eyes are opened up and awakened to what truly is going on. And it really is just a place of bliss and joy that we're living in. We were placed in heaven. As I mentioned in my previous videos, I'll put the link up here, or put the link in the description to that video about living in heaven right now. This is what began to happen. God began to question everything I believed in, and I was like, what's going on? Why is God just questioning everything I believed in? And this is what God does. He doesn't come to bring you all the answers about life. Like, how boring would that be if we just had all the answers? There would be no adventure, no exploring, no new experience. We've already experienced it all. We've had all the answers. As I began to explore new things in my meditations, God would question my beliefs. And so he would question something that I would believe in, and then maybe a week or even a couple days later, he would question the thing he just convicted me of believing in. So he would question this belief, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I see that new, energy of belief. And then a week later, he would question that new belief he just convicted me of. And I'm like, what's going on? And so what I realized is that life is not about having all the answers. Life is not about, knowing it all. Life is about questioning it all. That is how we, as humanity, have come across new innovations, new scientific breakthroughs. And that's how we've explored the world, because we had the art and the beauty and the bliss of questioning. As we dive into the new series, The Bliss of Questioning, we are going to explore some things that I believe that hold people in bondage and limit them from living a life of infinite possibilities. This framework of belief is not true freedom. True freedom is not limited by a framework of belief, but true freedom embraces all experiences, because true freedom cultivates bliss from within you. With this idea of freedom, I am developing a new Shots of Bliss mini-series called The Bliss of Questioning. This new mini-series was developed because as I would meditate, God would constantly question my frameworks of belief, and he continues to question all of our beliefs so that we as humanity can continue to awaken to greater and greater bliss. This new Shots of Bliss mini-series, The Bliss of Questioning, explores various frameworks of belief, how these systems hold us in bondage, and most importantly, how we can embrace true freedom by cultivating the bliss within you and living a life of infinite possibilities. If you enjoyed this Shot of Bliss and Freedom, then hit that like button. If you know someone that needs a shot of bliss in their life, then share it with them. If you want to share the bliss within you, then leave a comment below. Stay updated on the new mini-series, The Bliss of Questioning, by subscribing. And as always, stay blissful, my friends.